Hi, I'm Kerri Lake. I have been creating tools for an awakening world and all sorts of other content. I have a website called kerrilake.com. That's KERRILAKE.com. I'll probably flash it down on the bottom of the screen there or something for you too. Today I want to just take a moment and share a little bit about my journey so you have a sense of who I am and where I'm coming from. I think that gives a whole lot of perspective and lets us see that we all have obviously very widely differing journeys and different things we create in our lives to walk through and embrace. And even through all those differences, there are so many of us who know and have known our whole lives that we're here to make a difference. We, even as little kids, we would walk around and see what was going on and just know in our very being that something's just strange here, and it just seems weird that everything operates this way. My own journey of awareness started very, very early. In fact, when I was about 3 is the first time I was aware of my awareness. Watching people fight, like argue, your fault, your fault, your fault, kind of arguing and slamming doors and things like that. I had the knowing, and I knew I had the knowing when I was 3 that, you guys, there's a different way, and I knew there was a different way to be with each other on the planet. Now, I was 3. It's kind of hard to articulate that awareness when you're, just starting to grasp the use of language. What made sense to me at the time was to simply feel the love and emanate it. I didn't, of course, have the word emanate when I was little. So I just tried to be as much love as I could, and I would do things that felt natural to me, like with the dog and with the grass and with the trees. I would move my hands, just putting my hands over the dog and other animals and playing with other animals and loving them. Now, I could feel everything that was moving. Now we call it energetic work or multidimensional work. But to people who were not feeling the same thing that I was feeling, it looked really weird. So I was told to stop what I was doing, that it looked weird. Kerri, don't do that. Kerri, the dog is not talking to you. The trees are not telling you jokes. So as early as age 4 was when I started deliberately creating ways to not be who I am. Jump forward to around age 10 to 14. My family had moved from the Midwest to the Bay Area in California, smack in the middle of Silicon Valley land. And it felt so completely different. Everything changed for my parents. They didn't have the same family support structure. And it was really difficult for everybody to make that change on a heart level. The life became about providing and having what society thinks is great. So that environment for me was terribly shocking. And I, again, was watching the people around me contradict themselves, say one thing, mean another, and then deny it. And I really didn't have the tools emotionally to be able to keep myself embodied and expressing in that environment. So I withdrew and did my best on the outside to be what seemed to be expected, how to be a good teenager, how to be the right kind of teenager, which I was told was to be manipulative. And, teenagers are manipulative. Well, yeah, because it's a really hard time to try to understand not only the verbal communication around, but also the empathic communication that's going on around. And those of us who are very sensitive, not having the guidance to be able to know all the things that I'm feeling, what's me and what's the outside world. So the way I went through that was I had my innate connection and the gifted awareness that I have. It took, 40 years to just be okay with being gifted. That was such a strange word to me because it just seems natural to be kind to one another, to listen to nature, to listen to the animals. But to really embrace and receive all that I am, it became clear that I have a capacity for awareness. Well, when I was around age 12 to 14, I really started using that capacity and still had no way to be very integrated with it or learn to speak about it. I would watch National Geographic, of course, and Sir David Attenborough, of course, because he emanates so much love for what he was doing. That's what I was drawn to. But at the same time, I started asking questions directly in consciousness while watching these shows, saying, what is this about? Are the animals really, hating each other? Is life only about reproduction, predation, prey animals, and survival? Or is there more? And the biggest question I started asking was, so what is the real truth here? People would say one thing is true. I would feel a different thing to be true. And I didn't have any way to reconcile that unless I would process information to try to fit it into what seemed to make sense. By the time I was 14, dancing through that, and you're getting the short version of the story, of course. But by the time I was 14, demanding, show me the truth, and feeling my own body in relationship to everything, I came to the awareness that is very much what is being brought to the surface of the planet right now, in the surface of consciousness, which is that it is my uniqueness, my unique awareness, the unique way that I watch the world. That is the gold that I have to share with all of humanity. And very literally, if all I ever did was sit on my front porch swing and watch the world go by and appreciate the beauty that's there, the whole universe would feel my appreciation for the beauty that's out there. I couldn't articulate it when I was 14. I didn't know how to talk about it. I tried, and it probably came out sounding like I was just shy of insane because I was speaking with the language that I felt. And when you're 14 and you're on your way to college and you need to be doing well and you need to learn how to be a successful and stable citizen, speaking about truth and speaking about consciousness and speaking about sitting on your front porch swing and appreciating beauty, it doesn't really go over well all the time, at least not where I was and in my world. So I, at around age 16, shut it all down again to avoid going to any kind of institutional state of living. Jump ahead, when I was 24, I went through high school, went through college. It was excruciating for me. I tried my best and I learned a lot about social things, but it was also very devastating because I was still feeling everything different than other people. So by the time I was 24, after going through relationships that were unkind, I was done being alive. Not even horses were pretty enough to keep me on the planet. So I thought about doing messy things to help myself off the planet, and it just wasn't going to happen. It was messy and unpleasant. So what I literally did was laid down and I stopped participating in life. I let go of everything. I let go of who I am, what I'm about, whatever I think about anything I've ever been through, anybody in my life, and literally took myself all the way to that choice point of will I stay or will I go? Taking that journey cleared out so much for me, and I received love in the form of pure tone and vibration, a reminder and an upgrade of my own expression on the planet. It was an incredible journey, And I laughed and laughed and laughed with the beloveds of my etheric family when I was right, just held and so embraced in that place of love. And I was given the option, would you like to stay or would you like to move on? And in total laughter, I said, okay, I'll go back, because I was reminded why we came in the first place. Still after that, and this is what I really want to share, I didn't come back and then step straight into this life of ease. I came back and went into an incredibly abusive marriage relationship, abusive in both ways. Like, I found myself saying things like, where did this come from? What am I who is this speaking through me? And then receiving treatment that it was so not of love. After everything I had been through and the awareness that I have, watching all of that go on was, again, is a whole other level of confusion. And almost every day was this wavering back and forth of, will I stay or will I go? But I already knew I was going to stay, so I had to find a different way to walk through it. In 2006, I left that marriage and finally got vulnerable enough to open up and let myself receive assistance. And the assistance was completely to help me re-embody all that I am, to know the presence and the tone and the sensation of my own unique tone, rather than trying to figure out which is the right one to be, or living in confusion and not understanding what I'm feeling. So the tools for an awakening world, and the work that I share with people now, whether it's on a personal level or a professional level, is very, very much about guiding people to know the sensory awareness of their own presence, to know the purity of their own clarity when they ask for clarity, when they ask, what am I doing next? Or just to be clear on what direction am I walking, to be clear on why am I doing what I'm doing, to be clear on, I really am done functioning this way or that way or that way. I don't want to do it that way anymore, but I don't know another way. And a lot of the people that I work with are already facilitators and practitioners and people who are already out there doing huge amounts to assist humanity to awaken, to arise. Assisting other facilitators to go beyond where they have been is the greatest joy and the greatest honor, because look at what we can do together. Look at what we can do side by side. So when you see me do videos and have conversations with other facilitators like Mel Robertson, and I play closely together, what we're sharing is a camaraderie side by side, where we as facilitators can share with one another, not to compete for clients, not to say that this is the way, this is a better way, this is a higher vibrational way, this is a more pure way. It doesn't matter. All roads lead back to the heart. But we share the conversations to start to share a new vocabulary, a new way of expressing, a new spaciousness to express like humanity has not ever expressed before. Working with me one-on-one is very much about committing to your own journey and committing to your own higher levels, your own embodiment, and the expression of your creativity, the expression of your creation as you walk along in a body on a planet. That's what I would love to share with you in one-on-one sessions, or to speak to groups is so much fun. So if and when you would like assistance to accelerate your embodiment, and believe me, as you do, your entire outside world starts to shift to complement you. It's not so much the paradigm of attracting and not attracting. It's more about embodying that tone and that frequency that the entire universe recognizes and already knows as me, as this unique expression. And when you show up willing to be seen, the whole universe is like here you go, you're going to need this, and here's some people, and here's some resources, and here's a direction for you to go, and have you thought about this? Resources, gifts, awareness, gifts on top of gifts, the whole body. I didn't even get it to the physicality. I've regenerated my body so many times. Just as I arise in my own consciousness, everything has to shift to complement. So working with me is an opening to your own fluidity, your own opening, your own presentation of creativity in a body on a planet. So I hope you'll check out my website, check out the Tools for an Awakening World on that website or on Facebook, and check out the couple of books that I've written, Listen Like a Horse and A Sense of Self. And when you're ready to kind of downshift, accelerate, and begin accelerating the embodiment of who you are, I would be beyond honored to assist. So thank you for coming to play, and I'll look forward to seeing you in our live events.